Hello friends, welcome all. My name is John. I am from Jiju Solutions. This video is just a brief explanation or just an assistance to how to apply for a job in NHS Trac UK. Okay, so we'll go into the instruction video. Here is a trial profile that I made to show you. So here is the dashboard we can see up here. So I will just make you familiar with the interface first before we go into apply for a job. Okay, so on top you can see the dashboard panel. There you can see your current jobs applications. Over here you can, it will come up here. Then the few dashboard, there is no job applied right now, that's why these three options are coming up like this. Okay, so the second you can see the applications. So here whatever your previous application you applied for a job, you can see up here. Okay, then third option is to find a job. Here under that there is two options are there. Here is the job by email. So jobs by email is a special feature that offering by the NHS UK Trac. Like you can set job alerts actually when new jobs will when post by an employer, you will get a email alert to it. So you can customize this panel. You can enable this feature by enabling a lot of options over there. You can customize, you can set the job alerts actually. So when it's come to the new job alerts, it will keep post you up. Okay, then I will go to the dashboard right now. The third option is the job search panel. So when you go to the job search panel, here is the search basically happens, or even you can go to the same option this as well. Okay, so now I went to the search panel and I searched for a staff nurse. So today I'm going to show you how to apply for a staff nurse position. This applies for almost all professions actually. In the same way we need to apply in a NHS Trac. So it's a bit tricky actually to apply for a job. Okay, I will show you today how to apply for a job. So here you can see when I search for a job, you can see up here all the all the employers posted jobs over here. Okay, it's a huge list because of it's a nursing post, so there is a lot of nurses vacancy up here in the UK. So you can see up here. All right, then if you're going for your job, maybe it will be there a very less postings up here. Okay, so it's all depends on your profession basically. So I'm going to go post for a one job up here. uh, this is the job I'm going to apply today to show you. Okay, we'll go for the application. So before you go to the application online, this option, you have to go through it thoroughly. You have to read all these major descriptions, major roles, how what all the works you need to do under this profile. You need to check over this. So there is a tip over here. I want to share you that always when you go through this description, always keep note with the keynotes. The keynotes are this kind of are the keynotes basically. Okay, trained SACT. So if you have any SACT qualifications or any trainings like this, make sure it is added in your profile. Okay, mm, then you have to go through the detailed job description and main responsibilities. Always once you have pre-employed checks everything, these are like keywords basically up here. You can see and also which departments you need to work. All the details they have been clearly mentioned up here. And also here under the uh, qualifications, you can see the essential criteria. So if under the essential criteria, these are the mandatory qualifications you should have actually. What the desirable criteria is just if you have, it's fine, if it will be very good actually. You will get a good privilege to get shortlisted. So always try to get these any certification, kind of certification. If they are asking for the desirable criteria, try to make sure it's been added in your profile. Before we applied for this job, I will just show you the profile what I created. I had to create a profile and all. Okay, so it will be very easy for you to apply for a job. So if your profile is fully set up before you apply for a job, it will be very easy for you. Okay, before we apply for this job, I will share my profile, what all things I have been filled. Okay, then next go to the skills. Skills essentials, the same like this. What are the skill sets you need? You have to go through all this. Here there are a lot of keywords are there, so always when you go through this, take a note about these keywords are very important actually. So make sure these keywords has been attached in your profile. Okay, then when you come down, you can see up here there is a job description file actually. There is a job description PDF file. You should download this file and go through that as well. It's a very detailed job description, all specified description, everything will be mentioned up there. Okay, before we start now, I will just show my profile, what all details I have been filled before. Okay, uh, I want to show you my profile. uh, you can see up here, if you tap on your profile on the right up corner like this, then go to the profile. If you go to the profile, you can see what all the details have been entered. So make sure this your email ID, phone number, your current address. If you are in the UK, your current address, make it sure it's in a UK address. If it is, some people will keep the older Indian address actually, so you should not do that. If you are in the UK, you should update your current address. Okay, that will be a great benefit actually for you get shortlisted. Okay, then you have to fill your education qualification is the next thing. The qualification is the first heading they're gonna ask you. Okay, the what are the qualifications you have. So you can say it's like your qualifications or the grade. When you're writing the grade, the important thing here, when you're writing the grade actually, you have to write in a UK equivalent grades actually. You should not mention the Indian grades or your own country grades or results. So whatever the same grade what you gained in your own country when you studied in your masters or bachelors, what you gain the score, the same equivalent score in the UK standards. In that way, you it if you mention like that, it will be good actually to make understand your employer. Okay, then next come to the training session. If you have any trained, if you have been trained in any training sessions like OSCE, CBTs, or any NMC pin, if you gain that, you can add up here as well. Okay, so in the qualification as well, here as well you can add your OSCE, CBT qualifications. Okay, then professional registration. So if you gained a NMC registration, you can add that details up here in the under the professional registration. Okay, so go to, if you open the professional registration, you can see up here the different category what you have been registered and all. You can see up here. mm, Here you can see a lot of different nursing specializations, everything up there. So these are the NMC registration basically will come for the usually coming from India, Kerala nurses actually do. So this is the RN part 1, the adult NMC registration. So you can mention that. Then right here the details what all qualifications you done behind to gain a NMC registration, like OSCE, CBT. Then if you have done any language proficiency test like any IELTS or OET, you can write up here. Okay, then your membership details and the details up here you can write over there. Okay, then we are going to the next session. The expiry dates you can mention up here, then you can save. Okay, I'm not going to save right now. Then next you have to add your employment details. Going to the employment details here as well, you have some additional questions you can, of course, you can ask, you can add actually. It's like if you have done any special research activities or anything, you can add these details under this session. Okay, or any NHS value, how you respect the NHS values, how you respect the dignity, all these things you can write under this option. Okay, add the specialist question, because some of the employers while doing the application they will ask some specific questions actually related to their NHS value and all. So if you know any questions like that, you can add that already here. So what's the benefit? I would say, like, if you're applying for a job, these questions, additional questions, answers what you entered up here will automatically fetch with the application. So that will be very easy. You can save a lot of time of instead of writing the stuff every time. Okay, then go to the employment session. In the employment session you can add how many employer, your previous experience, how many you want. You should add your Indian and the your own previous all experience you should add under this option. Okay, then employment history, you can several things you can see up here. Employer name, employer address you can see up here. Then reporting to means which department you are reporting to. The maybe it could be the nursing supervisors or nursing superintendent, or what their position as well, you should mention up here. Then type of the business, you can type like a hospital, private hospital, or a government hospital, or any kind of autonomous hospital, what kind of business it is. Okay, then your job title as well you can write. Then the start date, the end date you can write. The grade, it's not a mandatory thing if you are a overseas nurse. If you are coming from any other countries like India or Kerala, like it's not a mandatory thing. You don't need to type the grade or salary or period of notice. It's not a mandatory thing. But the important thing is you should write the brief description of your duties and responsibilities. So duties and responsibilities are very core important thing to write it down. So in your previous experience, what all the duties and responsibilities you have done. So exactly the point out the each points very concise. Don't add the easy or silly points. Add the more responsible points, what you gained or what you lead, have provided, have handled, managed, this kind of thing you can write it from your previous experience. Okay, so how you are collaborated with a multidisciplinary team, this kind of thing you can add under the duties and responsibilities. So in the same way you can add multiple employer your multiple experience in the same way. Okay, then I'm going to the next section. Here is the next session, gap in your employment. Gap in your employment is a very important thing. So of course in the UK every NHS hospital they will ask you for, is there any gap. If there any gap actually, you should give the explanation of why that gap has been came in your career. So of course you can say, like always, you are preparing for a course, you are preparing for a training session, or you're preparing for a registration. Any explanation, it's up to you. You can give, like, but always like a reasonable reasons will be get valued. Okay, then going to the next important session is the supporting information. In the supporting information you can see the personal statement. This is very important thing. So once you start the personal statement, you have to write a 1000, around a 700 to 1000 words, or 1200 words around. You have to write about your career. So or whatever you mentioned up there, the same thing you should not write up here. So what you have to write here, like include why you came into the this course, or why you came into the career, why you like this career, how you respect the people, how you work in a NHS environment, the cultural adaptation, multidisciplinary adaptations, or what all you know exactly, what you need, the what is your career progression, what is your future planning, or how you are forward thinking about your career. These kind of things you should write under the personal statement in a very good British literature manner. Okay, that is very very important. You should write in a very good English literature, so they should feel you are more professional person, you're more valued person for them. Okay, then that is under the personal statement you should write. Then next section is the preferred employment type. Here of course you can tag tick any full time or anything like that. Okay, this is the personal, yeah, preferred employment type. It's up to you, it depends on your circumstances, I would say. The next session is the some specialist questions, like if you have any previous teaching experience, or any, if you have been participated in any research activities, presentations, any academic distinctions, anything. Yeah, or you can say about your team working, you can write down up here. You can select one option. If you want select option, if you just put add, you can see here your I just added the research actually. So if you have participated in a research, you can write down here the research details and all. Okay, so here you can see the date of the research, aim of the research, what was the conclusion, what was your contribution to that research. All these things you can enter up here. Write in a good way always, remember, always write in a good way. Okay, you can use any tools for to do that. Okay, and now I am not entering all these details. So I said already this is a trial profile, so I have not entered any further details, anything. Okay, so now this is the profile, all this thing. I hope you got the all profile stuff what I said. Okay, next I'm going to the application. Here is the application page. Here I'm going to show you how to apply for this job. Okay, this is a staff nurse job for a 5 or 6 band. Then here you can see the type of the job, how it will be. It's a contract, permanent, and what department actually on. This is the employer, which NHS trust actually offering you this job, and this is the department they are going to give you the job, and the site you can see up here as well. So maybe they have a one hospital. Usually if they any trust have multiple hospitals, like a more than 2 or 3 hospitals, they will give the exact site, which site they want you to be worked. Okay, so as I said before, go through the whole description, everything, go come down, and here there's a personal JD, the job description you can find up here. Download this PDF and go through this all everything. Okay, and make a perfect personal statement according to this job description. That would I prefer always. Okay, so now I'm going to the application page. When you go to the application page, this is the first page you can see up here. That now this the application page has been entered. Then here the first question, almost employers will ask for, are you currently a staff in this hospital? So now I'm not giving that, no. Then next, the what is your current visa status? So it's a circumstantial question, so it's up to your circumstance. You can select happier, there is, but usually from India these are the applicable options. Usually what I have seen, I have healthcare worker visa, that's sponsored. It depends on your current visa status. I'm just going through. I have a current health and care worker visa that's sponsored for my current employer. So I'm going with that option. So you have several other options: graduate visa, then youth mobility visa, then you have some other dependent visa, as there is several type of visa type. It depends on your circumstance, you can tick that. Here in this box you can write about your current visa status, current visa, which visa you are on, or you can write down your NIN number, national insurance number. Then if you want, you can write your BRP number and your expiry date of the current visa. These all things you can write if you want on this box. Okay, it's not a mandatory, it's an optional option. Okay, then I'm just taking their privacy notice. So these details, if you entered, you don't need to worry about this data will be misused by the employer, because until getting the shortlist, the employers usually they can't see your personal data. Once you are getting shortlisted for an interview, only they can see these kind of personal sensitive data. So you don't need to worry about that. Okay, then I'm going to the next session. Continue, press the continue, then going to the main session. So this session will ask for which kind of CV you want to apply for this application. So usually what I prefer is to use online. If your profile is completely ready, if your profile is completely filled in, you can use this option, use online CV. Otherwise, if you can go for a blank form. If you go for a blank form, what you have done in the profile, the same thing you need to type everything from the A to Z in the blank form, so you won't get any details. But if you use the online CV, your whatever the details in your profile, the track will automatically fetch that data to your online, your current application. And also there is a one more additional option will come if you are applied any before any jobs. So they will ask for the previous data or previous CV application, so you can select here. I haven't applied for any jobs before, that's why that option is not showing coming up here. So if you have applied any jobs before, they will ask for the previous application. So that previous application, whatever the additional details you have entered, that details will get fetched into the current application. So now I'm going for the use online CV. Then I'm just launching the application. So the first session will be, they will keep asking for the personal details. So here you can just put the start session, then go through, you have to open everything, you have to go to the application. So here you can see just open, then here you can just verify all your details are correct, everything is perfect. Okay, then come down, then scroll down, then you can select up here the full time. If you want to enter your NIN number, we can type it up here. Okay, then next you can save, and the next select your according to your preference. Okay, then save and the next. Here the if you have any person to relate it to, it should be in a director level. Actually it's not, there is a other part actually asking the reference, so your reference no need to mention here. If you want to mention, of course you can mention. If you have any close person working with that the same hospital, you can mention right down here. Okay, then you can go to the next session. So this is the disclaimer session. Actually you don't have any criminal offense or this thing, so I'm going with the no. Then here as well the same option with the no, there is no conviction for my application right now. So I'm just saving that details. Once you have saved, actually the personal session has been done completely. So once you have done the personal session, personal details, you have to make session as a completed. This option you have to take before you submit the application. So next is the application questions. So here you can see a lot of application questions like your educational details. You can see up here it's automatically fetched or synchronized from my main profile. So you can, if you want, you can make the editings up here. Just press OK, open, then here you can edit it actually according to your convenience. So if you make any changes, actually these changes won't go to your current permanent profile, so keep in your mind always. if you make any changes up here, that changes won't go to your profile. So whatever the changes you are making up here, the changes will only exist for the current application. So I'm not planning to make any changes up here, so I'm just save and the next. Here you can type your any training courses you have attended, any small training courses from your previous experience, fire and safety, like this kind of any ACLS, BLS, this kind of any kind of training sessions if you have attended before, you can add up here. Okay, then next to the professional body registration. So here, as I said before, you can add your NMC details up here. Okay, I'm just fix it later. Then they will ask for the NHS. So do you have any NHS service? If you have any NHS service right now, you can put the details up there. Then I'm going to the next session, the employment session. So this employment session is asked for your previous experience. So make sure these all details has been filled correctly. So make sure always these data being exactly true. So if these data are not matching properly, so it will be a huge problem, as like employer will question you why you have been misplaced your dates. So always keep in your mind, make sure these dates are correct with your certificates or your reference dates. Okay, the next is your reason for leaving. It's not a mandatory thing. Of course you can write down reason for the leaving, right? Like your professional growth or this kind of details, you can put it in the reason under the reason for leaving. Next important thing is the brief description of your duties and responsibilities. This is a very important column, so you make sure this has been entered correctly, your previous like what you have done exactly up there, what you're doing up there. So exactly the make sure all the points has been covered under the brief description. Okay, next the same way you can add any employer's details up here. Then I'm going to the just after that, once you have done that, just save and next. So here is another important one, it's the gaps in employment. So as I said before, like gaps in the employment is very important. Here you can write if you have any gaps in your career, even after your course, after your graduation, or after in between two employment, you can mention up here. But usually the NHS is preferring if it is a more than 2 months of gaps, only you need to write as consider as a gap. If it is less than 2 months or 1 month, you don't need to mention up there. Okay, then go to the next session is the supporting information, very important. As I said before, here you have to write, you should analyze before your application, you should analyze your job description, what I have showed before, the PDF file what we have seen in the main employer page. So take that what and take the keynotes, take all the keynotes, hot words actually from the job description from up there. Then you can write a perfect personal statement. So I would prefer always the personal statement should be customized every time when you're going to apply for a job. Every time customization is the ideal thing for this for a quality supporting information. So this they gonna read you just before starting your application. So this is the first primary thing. So make sure it's your first impression is your best impression. Okay, so save the session. Then next you can they will ask some additional related questions. Actually can I'm just pressing it no. The next important thing is the reference. So this session is a very important session as well. So you can open it. In this session you can add the references details actually. So previous for imagine I'm explaining one example. imagine if you work in your previous place from January 2023 to December 2023. When you're writing a person who worked within the same place, you should write their covering period. You should write the same time period. So make sure this time has been could be the same your work period. Okay, so always make sure this thing is correlating with your employment dates, employment work time. Always make sure this thing, and also always make sure what's the relation with the person exactly with the reference. So these are very important actually. So there is two default options they provide always. It could be employer or line manager, or you can say if your colleague, if you are giving the contact of any your colleague of, or you can select this option, you can go with this option. Or if you are going with a course tutor, school, or any this is your basically your academic reference they are expecting. So next session, fill all the sessions, tell their telephone number, their work mail id. When you're giving the work mail id is very very important. Always NHS will prefer for a work mail id. They won't accept usually their gmail ids or any personal mail ids. Always make sure there should be a work mail ids. Okay, but in some instances they will accept the personal mail id that you have to contact with the NHS or the employer. Then if they are agreeing with that, you can of course you can give for a personal mail ids. Okay, then these are the only thing you need to take care under the references thing. Then address thing you can provide up here. Your job title, their job title, sorry, their job title you have to refer, you have to write under there. Okay, then once you have done that, uh, then the next session is the last session of the of an application. The equal opportunities, they are diversified. So this thing you can go through the every session, your date of birth, your gender, your personal details, everything. They will ask you ethnicity. These things are it's mandatory options, but you have the opt-out options as well. This kind of thing you can give actually. It's of course, once you have done that, then go with the next session. If you have any disability, this kind of stuff they will ask. Okay, then they will ask for where you have seen this post. You can say of course any, if you have seen this NHS Trac, you can go with that. Okay, the last session is the declaration. So here you need to tick the declaration form, then you can save the session and mark it as session as a complete. Here I have not completed few sessions, that's why this option is in a dim, it's a invalid right now. Okay, so once you have entered all these details, this session will be appeared. You can tap on that, then at finally you can submit your application. So these are your application has been submitted successfully to the NHS employer. So these are the steps to apply for a job in a NHS. So hope you all understand very well. You can repeat the video, and if you have any doubts, you can contact us. If you need any assistance on our application, if you need any assistance on like application systems, or any, if you want to set up any profile or anything like that, you can of course can contact us. I'm just attaching our contact details under this video, and in description I will keep our contacts and the personal websites and all details. Okay, thank you for watching our video. Hope you all understand, and all the best, and make sure you get a good job in the NHS and blast it. Okay, thank you, take care, bye.